The late afternoon sun over the Ardennes burned a cold, orange glow through the haze of war. Smoke rolled lazily above shattered pine trees. The air was filled with the distant crack of rifles, the thud of artillery, and the constant, oppressive rumble of tank engines. For Sergeant Tom Callahan, commander of a battered M4 Sherman nicknamed Lucky 7, every vibration in the ground was a question: friend or foe? It was December 1944, the Battle of the Bulge. Callahan and his crew, loader Private Eddie Brooks, gunner Corporal Red Morrison, and driver Danny Ortiz, had been separated from their platoon after a German counterattack. The radio was dead, fuel was low, and the icy roads were clogged with wreckage. Somewhere ahead, a village called Hofstad sat straddling the road to Bastogne. Intelligence suggested the Germans had occupied it. Rumor was, a King Tiger, Germany's most fearsome heavy tank, had been spotted there. "King Tiger, huh?" Eddie muttered, feeding another shell into the breach. "You know, they say those things can shrug off a 76 like it's a snowball." "Let's not test that theory," Callahan replied grimly, scanning the tree-line through his binoculars. They rolled into the outskirts of Hofstad at dusk. The village was eerily still, no civilians, just the skeletal remains of houses blown apart by artillery. The Sherman's engine echoed off the walls, making Callahan's skin crawl. Then it came. A deep, thunderous boom shook the air. From the far end of the main street, the King Tiger appeared. Its massive 88mm gun pointed directly at Lucky 7. The sheer size of it made the Sherman look like a toy. "Jesus, reverse!" Callahan barked. But they were too slow. A flash burst from the Tiger's muzzle. The shell slammed into a stone wall beside them, showering the tank with debris. "Gun loaded!" Red shouted. Callahan swung the turret, sighting on the Tiger's front plate. The gun roared, clang. The shell ricocheted off the beast's armor like a pebble against a fortress. "That's it. We're screwed," Eddie whispered. The King Tiger advanced, every rumble of its tracks an earthquake. Callahan ordered Danny to back the Sherman into an alley, weaving between crumbling houses. The Tiger's next shell tore through a building they just passed, sending dust and timber raining down. Callahan's mind raced. He knew they couldn't outrun it. The Tiger was slower but had the range advantage. "We need to get behind it," he said. "Or dig our own graves," Red muttered. They darted through side streets, trying to flank, but the Tiger's commander was experienced. Every time they maneuvered, the German pivoted, keeping its thick frontal armor toward them. A near miss rocked the Sherman. Danny's hands slipped on the controls. "We can't keep this up, Sarge." Then Callahan spotted something, the bridge at the far end of town, spanning a frozen creek. The Tiger was angling toward it. If it crossed, it would have open ground and a perfect kill shot at Lucky 7. And then an idea, mad, desperate, hit him. Danny, full speed. Straight at it. The crew stared at him. "You wanna ram a King Tiger?" Red's voice cracked. "Either we take it out now, or it takes us out in 30 seconds. We hit it hard, aim for the tracks. Maybe jam the turret. Or maybe we just die faster," Eddie said, but his hands moved anyway, loading the next shell. The Sherman roared out of the side street. The Tiger's gun snapped toward them. "Danny, zigzag!" Callahan shouted. The German fired. The round screamed past, missing by inches. Chunks of cobblestone exploded around them. Red fired again, this time aiming at the Tiger's vision ports. The shot sparked harmlessly, but it made the Tiger hesitate. They were closing fast. 50 yards. The Tiger tried to pivot, its massive hull groaning. 30 yards. "Hold steady!" Callahan shouted. 20 yards. The Tiger's gun barrel loomed like a black tunnel. The impact was like a bomb going off. The Sherman's reinforced front plate slammed into the Tiger's right track. Metal screamed, gears cracked, and the Tiger lurched violently, one track snapping free like a broken spine. The Sherman's own hull shuddered. Inside, Eddie was thrown into the loader's rack, Red slammed against his gun sight. For a moment, there was silence. Then German shouts echoed from the Tiger. "Back us up, Danny," Callahan ordered. But before they could pull away, the Tiger's turret began to turn. Callahan didn't hesitate. "Eddie, he shell now." The loader jammed the high explosive round into the breech. Red sighted on the Tiger's turret ring, the narrow seam between turret and hull. Fire! The shot slammed into the seam. A flash of sparks erupted, followed by smoke. The Tiger's turret froze mid-turn. "They're stuck!" Eddie shouted. Callahan saw the German commander pop the hatch, pistol in hand. Red fired the coaxial machine gun, forcing the man back inside. Then Danny gunned the engine, shoving the Sherman's hull harder into the Tiger's crippled side, pinning it against the bridge's stone wall. Inside the King Tiger, the Germans were trapped. Callahan's crew worked like a single heartbeat, Eddie slamming in another round, Red firing at point-blank range, Danny holding their position despite the Sherman's engine screaming in protest. A final shell tore through the Tiger's side armor. Flames burst from the rear deck. The German crew bailed out, leaping into the icy creek below. The 4 Americans sat in stunned silence, their breaths fogging the air. The village was quiet again, except for the groaning metal of 2 ruined tanks locked together like dying beasts. "Holy hell," Eddie said finally. "We actually did it." Red leaned back, shaking his head. "That was either the bravest thing I've ever seen, or the dumbest." Callahan allowed himself a thin smile. "Sometimes, Red, there's no difference." Hours later, when they finally linked up with their platoon, the story of Lucky Seven's charge had already begun to spread. In a war full of impossible odds, the ramming of a King Tiger by a Sherman became a small, burning light, a reminder that courage could turn even the weakest hand into a winning one. In the frozen heart of the Ardennes, on that December evening, a crew of 4 men in a patched-up Sherman had done the unthinkable. And somewhere downstream, in the black water of the creek, the King Tiger lay silent, its reign ended not by superior firepower, but by raw, reckless will.